So the other day I was on Facebook and I saw somebody make a post in one of the groups that I'm in, and it said, make one unindoctrinated reason, or list one indoctrinated reason why you hate President Trump. And so I went on there, and I'm no fan of any president. I posted one reason, which is his viewpoints and stance on eminent domain, which, for those that don't know, President Trump loves eminent domain. And if you don't know what an eminent domain is, it's where the government decides that they need your personal private property, and so they take it from you and they reimburse you for it at fair market value. And I put that in air quotes because you usually end up getting screwed. You don't have a choice. The government usually comes along and says, like, we want your property for a road, or for some power lines, or for, I don't know, we're building a dam, we're going to flood this whole area out. But then again, like, sometimes people like Donald Trump, they need to build a garage for one of their hotels, and they can't get somebody to sell them their property, so they go to the government and make the argument that the property being sold to the private entity is going to end up somehow making it much better for all the citizens of the community, and they steal your property through the power of eminent domain. And so that's why I don't like Donald Trump. One of the many reasons I don't like it, but is very much definitely one of the non-indoctrinated reasons why I don't care for the president, is because of his stance on eminent domain, which is theft. It's government theft is what it is. And, I wasn't expecting much as far as, like, intelligent responses from everybody else on the post. But, dear Lord, like, some of the responses that I saw were, like, first of all, like, people, like, maybe they didn't understand, like, the whole point of the post, the non-indoctrinated reasons. So, things that I saw on there was, he's mean. Donald Trump is mean. He says mean things. I don't like his hair. His hair. People were listing their hair, like, as a reason why not to like the president. That's, like, actually a thing with people. As much as people hate Donald Trump, they have a hard time articulating the reasons why, especially any reason that doesn't, like, pretty much just boil down to, like, Orange Man bad, the whole NPC, just, he's bad because the media tells us he is. If you pay attention to just the news daily, if you pay attention to, like, any of his policies, there's a good chance, unless you're, like, a big screaming nationalist, there's a good chance that you're not going to like a good portion of his policies. And even if you're a libertarian like I am, his policies, I've heard a lot from libertarians saying that he's the most libertarian president we've ever had, which is just completely just false. It's such a malarkey statement to make. The guy is not pro free trade. He's huge on tariffs, which, believe what you want about tariffs. You might think that they're great for the country. You might think that it's making things fair, but it's not free trade. It's government interference in the market, which always ends up screwing things up. So, for those people, the conservatives out there who, like, they spout about free trade the whole time that Obama was in office, but they've said nothing about President Trump's use of tariffs. And there's tariffs, there's eminent domain, there's the whole locking kids up in cages thing. That was something I wasn't a big fan of. I'm pro open borders, though, so I'm not going to be the one to cry about not having a wall or getting funding or not for the wall. I think the wall, first of all, to build the wall, you're going to have to use a whole lot of eminent domain to steal people's property, put the wall along the private property that is on the border of the United States. If those people want a wall, they could go ahead and build a wall on their property themselves. It shouldn't be up to the rest of us to be on the hook for some stupid wall down there at the southern border. And, there's all sorts of other reasons, too, why not to like him. I just listed 3 policies of Trump's that I wasn't a fan of. But like, I saw one lady, I'm not joking you, dude. This chick actually showed a picture of Donald Trump. Oh, and his emergency declaration. Okay, you could say I'm not a fan of the emergency declaration. Not just I don't like the wall because I think that foreigners should be able to just cross the border willy nilly. I believe that people should be able to travel and work without any government interference whatsoever. I should be able to go start a business without talking to the government, without getting a business license, without having to say anything to the government at all. I should be able to do that. I should be able to go get a job without having any interference from the government. I shouldn't have to show a license. If my boss wants to hire me for whatever reason, he can check my skills. I shouldn't have to have a license from the state saying you can do this, because as you can tell, there's lots of people out on the freeway all the time, lots of people out on the roadway that have driver's license. Doesn't make them good drivers at all. So I should be able to do that. I should be able to travel where I want. I should be able to go into another country and just go to another country. I shouldn't have to be checking in. I shouldn't have to go to the post office and get a passport, pay the exorbitant amount of fees that people have to pay for the passport. I shouldn't have to do that. But this whole emergency declaration is just absolutely garbage and malarkey. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, Obama did so many emergency declarations. I don't care. It was wrong then too. Okay? The president should not be circumventing the Constitution, should not be sidestepping the Congress's power of the purse. If you can't get it done in the Congress, it shouldn't be a thing. It should not be a thing where the president is just I'm going to declare a national emergency out of thin air when it's really not, okay, and then steal funding that was allocated for other things. And mind you, these other things probably shouldn't have had the money spent on them in the first place, but the Congress did. That is constitutional. And what the president is doing right now with these emergency declarations is not constitutional. So, anyways, saw this lady post a picture of Donald Trump at one of his hotels, getting some waffles. Or no, he was getting an omelet. He was having one of his workers make an omelet for him. And she listed this whole big thing, that big, a big old thing about why she did not like the president, and it all had to do with him getting omelets, getting breakfast. I'm really, lady? You went with breakfast? He's getting an omelet? You don't like the president because he's getting himself some breakfast? I eat breakfast. You eat breakfast more than likely. All my kids eat breakfast. My parents eat breakfast. Everybody I know, for the most part, eats breakfast, at least some of the time. So, why is it that you're using that as an excuse to not like the president? You could have gone with, what I said, eminent domain. You could have gone with the emergency declaration. You could have gone with locking kids up in cages. You could have gone with separating families at the border. You could have gone with, hell, you could have even gone with, pulling us out early from the wars that we've been in. Because I've noticed a lot of liberal Democrats seem to have a problem with that. You could have gone with all those, actual legit reasons why not to like the president. But you went with MF waffles or an omelet, whatever he was eating. You had a problem with what he was eating. And it wasn't like he was eating, beluga whale caviar or nothing like that, dude. He was eating some breakfast, some regular old breakfast, and you had a problem with that. When somebody says, give me an unindoctrinated reason why you don't like the president, and the best that you can come up with is that he's eating breakfast. Oh my God. Dude, y'all need to pay attention. If you're going to be hating on the president so much, you need to pay attention on why. And I'm not talking about just watching The View and catching a couple of buzzwords on The View on why Whoopi hates the president right now, or why Joy Bear hates the president, and then just piggybacking off of that. So when somebody asks you a couple of questions about it, you can't articulate anything other than the sentence or two that you heard. You need to understand why you don't like somebody. I don't like Donald Trump because he is an authoritarian, because he is against free trade, because he is against open borders. I know that that's not a super popular viewpoint to have. I don't care. I don't expect a lot of people to agree with me. I feel like you should be able to walk, travel, and work without any government interference whatsoever in all aspects of life. So, like, I'm not a fan of the government's intrusions on people's right to travel, which pretty much equals, like, I'm not a fan of Trump's wall. I'm not. Like, I can articulate exactly why I don't like Donald Trump. And I feel like a lot of the people that have a problem with Donald Trump can't do that. And you're not doing yourselves any good. Like, when he gets up for re-election, if you can't articulate against his policies why you don't like them, all the people are going to do is they're going to go, look at the job market. Look how many people are working that want to work right now. If you want to work, you probably have a job, more than likely. Like, that's all they're going to care about. They don't care that he's mean. I don't even give a fuck that he's mean. Who cares? Donald Trump's mean, yeah. Like, we've known this for years. That ain't new. And, he didn't release his tax returns. So what? If that was important to people, if it was truly important to people, they would have voted against him for not releasing the tax returns. But guess what? He won. So it's not important to people. Oh, Donald Trump might be from Russia, or he's in collusion with Russia. No, probably not. And if it is, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. He's already the president. You ain't going to get rid of him. And he's on track to win 2020 because all y'all bunch of morons, when you have, like, are asked, why do you not like the president, you scream about fucking omelets. Hit like and subscribe and share this. Have a good day.